Hey man, listen to this.
Hello and welcome to the Empty Cans Podcast. My name is Mark.
My name is Bryce.
Welcome, Bryce.
Thank you.
We have Bryce with us this morning, and I will stress morning here because it's pretty early.
Yes, I appreciate you making me get up this early. It's rare, but it's necessary.
Rare. Okay, so all brewers get out of bed around noon or so. And
Yes.
Then just go drink some beer, and that's it.
Magically, beer just shows up.
I knew
The
it.
more you drink, the more the tanks get full. It's kind of like this secret that no one knows about.
So maybe overnight these little elves come in and just
Yeah.
do it all for you.
Yeah, he had 8 pints. We'll give him, 2 gallons today.
Nice. So we're here today to talk with Bryce, but we're also here for another reason,
Yes, sir.
especially so early in the morning. There's not a whole lot that's going to get me up other than real work
Yeah.
that I have to
Which
go
is
to.
necessary, I guess.
Right. The other reason why we're here is because Bryce, after a bunch of bugging him repeatedly,
Oh, twist my arm again, would you? Twist it.
right. I just said, "Hey, do you want to?" And he said, "Yeah, let's do it."
I'm interested.
We are doing a collab today,
Yes, sir.
Empty Cans, and hopefully we're going to have a blowout party next month when this is ready.
Yeah, looking
Going
forward
to
to
drop it. It's going to be a fantastic beer.
it. Yeah.
So, many of you who have listened to some of the previous podcasts, you know that Tom, at least one time in the podcast, would bring up Zithos hops.
Yes.
So, believe it or not, we are brewing with the Zithos hops today.
Yes, we are. I may have got the last batch of this year's. It took forever to find it, but we have the golden Zithos hop here in the brewery. We're gonna put it to work today.
I hope all the doors are locked because anybody could come in and steal that right now.
Doors are
It
locked.
is so valuable. But we're it's not just Zithos hops. There's three of us really.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, myself, and you. And
Yes.
and one of my favorite hops is Nelson.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to have some Nelson in it, and
I
Bryce.
flew to New Zealand to grab a bag of Nelson myself. It was a wonderful trip. Thank you for the inspiration.
It's a tax write-off,
Yeah,
right?
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And I brought to the table McKinsey, Lupo Max McKinsey hop, which is a new hop out of Oregon. I think it came out in 2018, but it's really starting to show up. And I've seen it around town a couple times. I've used it a few times. Really nice hop. So the combo of those three should come up with something very juicy, tropical, right on the par for what you'd want for a hazy.
Yeah, so I guess that's the other thing. This is a hazy, and
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of people are not surprised if they've heard this podcast before.
Got a
But
good haze.
the Zithos is very pineapple forward. The Nelson's kind of a gooseberry type of thing, and the McKinsey.
Yeah, some really nice tropical notes that come through that, especially on the aroma. So that'll really add a lot to the nose and the sensory aspect of it.
So that's going to tie it all together. What are we shooting for here? What is the end ABV? What percentage?
6.7. So
6.7.
I'm shooting for about 6.7. That's I've been pretty standard mash bill for the hazies that I do. So I'm confident we'll hit 6.7%. Yeah.
Yeah, and that 6.7 is a really good.
Yeah.
It's nothing that's one and done type of thing.
You could I like between for this place between 6.2 and 6.7. That's for a hazy. You have two of them, you feel fine. A lot of flavor in that aspect as far as how much malt you have in the grain bill there. Still has a solid backbone.
So what are the ABVs in this one? Do you know that?
Yeah, the ABV would be 6.7. The IBU is 46.
Oh, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. IBU.
No worries. Yeah.
Lots of letters.
46.
7
And,
a.m.
Yeah, should come out a nice orangish juice color almost. Beautiful hazy.
Very good. So we already mentioned the hops. Kind of went over the grain bill a little bit. Pretty much every beer has every IPA has a kind of a base malt.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going with that.
Some haze protein. Some like haze generators I call them, but the standard flaked malts like oats, barley, white wheat, flake wheat, little carapils add a little bit extra body.
Yeah, so there's nothing like out of the norm
No.
here as far as the grain bill goes.
Just the Zithos.
That is out of the norm.
Just the Zithos.
Yeah. So today we are going to brew this, and how many gallons are we going to brew?
I'm shooting for 35 in the tank and a barrel of finished product. You'll lose a little, with, with Trub and dry hopping, but we're shooting for one barrel, just a barrel batch today.
A barrel batch, and you
Although
actually
this probably sell out the park. We're probably going to blow this thing.
Well, I was going to say,
I actually have to go out and scavenge some places to find more Zithos.
Right. I was going to say, are you sure that's enough?
Yeah, when you can only find 1 pound of Zithos, that's about all you can do.
For this very thirsty, empty cans audience, I don't know if 1 barrel is going to be enough.
240 pints, so we'll just make sure you get here early.
Right.
It'll go quick.
Early. Yeah, we'll talk about towards the end on exact dates and things like that. But so the time that it's going to take us to brew this. Mm-hmm. So we are here again. I want to note, 7 a.m. We're here. Actually, it's getting late.
Yeah,
like 7:30.
That's time just ticks, and we just brew, and that's just the way it works.
So how long roughly?
Roughly an 8-hour day.
8-hour day.
The slowest part for this brewery is just heating up water. So we're at the moment waiting for some water to heat up. We've got our sparge water ready. So as soon as we're hot, we'll get everything divided, mashed in, and we'll start the timer.
All right.
Timer started, I guess, is when I woke up at 6:10 in the morning. So we're on the clock. But yeah, I'm guessing we'll be done about 4 o'clock, probably 3:30. Clean up by 4 o'clock, and I'll be walking out the door looking for a watering hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, today's Tuesday, I guess.
It is Tuesday.
So you are not open on a Tuesday?
No, I do a lot of my brewing Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, or sometimes all 3. But that's still closed 3 days a week for brewing.
That's fantastic, because then that kind of frees up your time.
Yeah.
In here on
cleaning kegs, cleaning the floors, cleaning tanks, brewing beer, kegging. Yeah, it's quite a bit. Yeah, it's about the right amount of time. When we bump up to this 3-barrel system, we just got. I'll end up doing 2 brew days and having a day where another day where we're open, which I think we're looking probably by the first of the year to be open 1 more day. It'll be nice to actually double up on everything too, or have the ability to triple up. So I can get everything done in 2 days, and then I've hired someone to now work Thursdays instead of me being here. So that way all morning Thursday I can be here and replace that, and then take one of those days just off. Maybe work a half day.
So right now you're working pretty much 7 days a week.
Yeah, 7 days a week. I took a vacation from the 19th to the 22nd of October, and I haven't had a day off since. I think it's the 19th today, so we're rolling. We're pretty, almost 28 days. Yeah, just the way it works. I love it, but someone's got to do it.
So, do you ever get a chance to go out and enjoy other parts of life, or since you're 7 days a week, it doesn't leave a whole bunch of opportunity.
Usually, I'm out of here. If I get here on a day like 7, I'll be out of here by 4:30, or 5 if I want to stay and do a little bit extra. So yeah, we still Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday do a few things, but most enjoyable part I have is kind of still building this place. So you do the beer, then you get the chance to serve it to everybody, and I think that's probably my most enjoyable part of this whole thing. Mm-hmm. I've met a lot of people, made some new friends. It's been fun. So no complaints yet.
Good. So this is usually the kind of the part where we say, hey, what are you drinking today?
Yeah.
And it's, again, 7 a.m., so I don't want to seem like a raging alcoholic. I thought it would still work, but I didn't want to come off like that.
Yeah,
so
if we started at 8 o'clock, it would have been all right.
Yeah.
But 7, okay.
Little too early.
Yeah.
So
all I could say is I had a dark roast Sumatra bean from Cafeena this morning.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Same bean I used as in the Labruski this week. So I've been drinking it. Really nice.
Very
I see
good.
You have some coffee or water there.
I do have coffee and water.
Perfect.
Hydrate. I got to caffeinate first and then hydrate later. And, maybe after 8, we'll start drinking a beer or something,
Crack one.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that have been happening around the valley lately.
Oh, yeah.
You've had Oktoberfest.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh hop fest all over.
my favorite time of the year. Those between Oktoberfest and Fresh Hop, my favorite.
It's crazy that those two events happen so close together. They pretty much overlap.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not complaining or nothing.
Well, Oktoberfest has its roots in Germany, and the Fresh Hop thing really started here with, years ago. But the hazy thing has just blown it up. So
yeah,
I mean, how fitting for those two to kind of intertwine and get the old world beer and the new world beer coming together.
So I guess in the next event would be the stout month.
Stout month,
which is great.
Yep, I'm stockpiling for stout month to do something.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Very happy to be a part of something like that this year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know there's a couple around town that are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, what's another event that's happening?
The Empty Cans podcast party
Wow.
at Brown Beers. I've heard big things about it. It's going to be quite the party.
It is going to be quite a party.
Beer, rocket ship beer. Zito's going to blow the roof off the place. I'm mostly, there's always some things going. I wouldn't say New Year's is a beer drinkers type of party, but there's several breweries around town that may do something.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, hold on, everybody. Got alarms going off. All right. Are we in danger right now, Bryce?
That's the alarm I set. It goes off every 15 minutes, and I call it the, hey, get back to work alarm.
Oh.
Normally during the mash, I'll take a pH reading and a gravity reading every 15 minutes. So
okay.
I set that timer for that reason. But honestly, I just leave it on all day. So every time I hear it, I just say, what am I doing and what's next and what should I be doing?
All right.
And most of the time, it keeps me on track. Yeah.
All right. So we're in no danger.
Nope.
Nobody worry. We will still make this beer.
Beer's going well.
So what is the name of this Empty Cans collab? What have you come up with today?
Well, we've had quite a few things go back and forth.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know that we've officially decided on a name, but I had a few that I thought that I really liked. I should pull up my list here.
Yeah, if you got a list, let's hear it. I'm all ears.
I liked Empty Haze, because it's or Bearded Banter, Hazy Conversations. What were you said initially? I think we talked earlier about Empty Beard, or which is a nice collab between the two.
Yeah.
Or even Thrice Beard or Three Beards.
Right.
Yeah. So that there's a lot of fun aspects that can be combined together for this one.
So that kind of brings up another point, is names.
Yes.
I mean, you have several beers out right now.
Yeah.
They're all named something different, and it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
No, that would be a lot easier. But
so it would be, especially for me. I have no creativity in my head. So how do you come up with these names?
I have over the last 7 years, I've created some lists of names every time. Or one thing that I do, if an idea hits my head, I'll text message myself.
Oh, sure.
So I get the message, and then every time I get a new message, I start scrolling and seeing all my old ideas.
Okay.
So that's one thing. So I've created some of these beers, and then all the new beers, I do look through some of those lists, but usually it's just something that comes 1 or 2 days prior to putting it on tap, like in a flash of inspiration. The latest one was Mabel Gray, which was an old ship that had capsized off of the coast of San Francisco. And there's this really old news story about it. And there's a song that kind of sings about it that kind of got me interested in it. And I thought, if I ever had a flagship beer, it should be named after a ship, because I'm Brown Beard, the pirate, where I pretend that I am.
Right,
so
right.
That, I thought, ship name for a flagship. But I'm going to keep working on the recipe. It's a great Imperial IPA. And once it's ready, I'll feel good about calling it a flagship that's named after a ship. I try to keep some of the things nautically themed, just for the idea that we may one day decorate this place, and I might just show up to work as a pirate every day. I think
Sure.
that'd be kind of fun.
That would be fun.
Something to look forward to, I guess.
Right.
In life. Although by the end of this podcast, we'll have a name nailed down.
Yeah.
We'll know exactly. Maybe we should do a poll on our Instagrams and let the people name it.
There you
If
go.
you come up with 4 or 5, maybe that'll happen. Maybe not. Keep
We
your
can do
eyes
that.
on our social media. That
Yeah.
might be a thing.
We'll throw that out there. Very good idea.
Yeah.
Let the people decide.
Yeah, the people, who's going to drink most? Well, we're going to drink most of it, let's be
Right,
honest. But
yes.
the people will come in looking for it.
They'll have a
wanna,
taste.
They'll want to be a part of this.
Right.
And they'll want to name it. So.
Yes. You got a bunch of thimbles for tasters because we're not going to
Yeah.
give out too much.
I got those little 5-ounce mason jars with the cute little handle
Right.
everyone loves. Yeah.
Those are pretty cute.
I got about 145 of those after
Wow.
breaking 4 or 5. So plenty. Yeah.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of brings up another question is flagship.
Mm-hmm.
What are your flagship beers? I don't know if you consider it, but I think Beard Labrewski's
Yeah.
one of your biggest flagship beers.
That would definitely be my most popular and most sought after. That's a beer I'll see some people walk in and look up at the menu, and then they give me this death stare.
Oh, yeah.
It happens a lot.
I've done it myself.
Yes.
I
It's
got-
like, where's the Labrewski? I just say, well, we can't keep up with demand on it. So luckily, I just did a double batch of it. It'll be on here probably through, that should last a month, 6 weeks, I hope. Some of the better sellers I've had, though, I have what's I called the 4 Nectaron Blondes.
Yeah.
I bumped that up to Nectaron version 2.0, which was then a pale ale. And that's where that beer really shined. We did a double batch of that and sold out in 2 weeks. And I had so many of the regulars that walked through here tell me, don't change anything about that beer. It's done.
Perfect, just the way it is.
Yeah, and I was like, well, you said that the first time, but the second time was even better. So I always, will tweak something, or I find that the mouthfeel or there's a little bit something missing in the body of the beer. So bumping up the percentage by 1%, adding a little bit more malt is where that beer shines. So the Labrewski, the Nectaron, and it's odd to say, but I sell more of the Dunkelweizen than maybe
No.
just as much of that as the Nectaron, and it's been on several times.
Wow.
People
okay.
really like that as a dark beer.
And what about the Alley Cat or the?
Yeah. The Alley Cat's steady, and it's one of my personal favorites, but I wouldn't think it's a flagship as far as if you look at sales numbers.
Okay.
But it's rated quite high. Well, it's over 4 on Untapped, and we have a lot of check-ins with it, so I've gotten pretty good feedback on it.
Very good.
Really nice breakfast stout. The breakfast beers are more of a novelty than flagships, but there are I have a lot of people who come back for those different types. Yeah, so I wouldn't say any of the breakfast beers outside of the Labrewski is anything that would, they're great for like a seasonal or something, but if they disappeared, I wouldn't get the death threats like some of those other
Right,
beers.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I think right now I'd have those 3 maybe as my best sellers. The wheat beers go quick, so it's kind of a fun thing to have a wheat beer that goes fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
To be honest with you, I put this pepper beer on, and we did a barrel of that, and I sold a half barrel in 3 days. This weekend it's been my biggest and hottest seller. The first barrel we put on, it was sold out in 7 days for a barrel, which is really fast.
Yeah, I saw that you put that on.
That may end up being something that we keep around as long as we have the peppers. The gentleman that grows them, and he bugs me to make this beer. He said, I put 7 batches worth of peppers aside for you because I knew it was going to
Wow.
be popular. So he's, we've got enough to keep that rolling to kind of explore if that's going to be something.
So, using local.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
As local as possible.
Local
He lives
ingredients.
right around the corner.
Very good. I saw you put that on, and I thought, for me, when I drink a pepper beer,
Yeah.
it's kind of a one and done type of thing.
Sure.
I can't drink too much of
The
it.
goal with mine, and I have a lot of people buy 2 or 3, but the goal was just enough spice to know that it's a pepper beer, but not the burn that will linger. So I was shooting for like someone that would taste it, and if they like peppers, 90% of them would want to drink one.
This
isn't a big hot jalapeno spicy beer that's going to burn you both ends, terrify you, and send you
Right.
running home crying. It's a 3-pepper blend of red peppers, big red pepper flavor, no real burn, just a minor linger.
Okay, well, I guess we better get to it. We're killing daylight now, so
Perfect.
let's go ahead and get brewing. And when we get some low times, we'll come back and I'll ask you a few more questions, and we'll kind of let everybody know kind of where we're at in the process now.
Sounds fun.
So right now, we're going to heat up some water.
Yeah, we're basically there. So we'll
Okay.
transfer it over for our sparge, top off, get the malts lined out, and mash in.
All right, let's go do it.
Right on.
All right, we're back, everybody. Okay, we did a whole bunch of work.
In the blink of an eye, though,
Right.
which was wonderful. It's
Super
great for the
fast.
listeners when it happens that way.
Right,
Yeah.
it is awesome. It's just
Yeah.
we're good. We're
Hey,
good.
I'm not going to argue that.
So it's I guess 8:01 now. I'm just kidding. It's
about
it's almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So everybody knows what that means. It's not.
It
Too
means
early.
it's acceptable to have a breakfast beer at Brown Beard Brewing Company.
That's right. That's right.
So that's what I'm doing.
Yes. I do have a beer as well. It is not a breakfast beer, but it is a beer.
Teach their own. Beer can be for breakfast, any style you want.
Spoken by a
Connoisseur.
true brew smith. Okay. So why don't we tell everybody, hey, what are we drinking?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll go first. I'm drinking the Maple Gray.
Yeah.
It's a new one that you put on.
Yep.
Probably last week, I think you put it on.
Put it on. We're coming up on 2 weeks this Saturday. Yeah.
And this is an IPA,
Yeah. An imperial. Kind
a
of
little
hybrid,
bit bigger. Why don't you tell
a little
everybody
bit of a
about
hybrid style. So it's it was inspired by Pliny the Elder because I had a couple bottles roll in here and I thought, wow, that's delicious.
it? Yes,
So
it
I'd
is.
like to do something similar, but kind of put my own spin on it. So I
Uh-huh.
did a lot of research on what they've done, and I used whole cone hops in the mash like they did, but I used hops that I grew and that I had more of, so I knew. So I did Chinook whole cone hops in the mash, and I still did a 90-minute boil and still some of the C hops with Simcoe. Fermented it very hot with Kvike yeast. So I almost called this beer 99.3 because that's the
Okay.
temperature that it
Yeah.
hit. And the threshold for that yeast is about 100. So it's got, when you get that hot, or even 92, anything over 90, you get a big mouthfeel, like a guava texture. And it's really thick and juicy. It's really quite nice. That recipe was 121 IBUs. It drinks more like it's 85 or 90.
Yeah.
It drinks it drinks quite well. Punchy, hoppy feel, not so much bitter, like overwhelming, like 120 IBU beer should be.
Right.
And I would attribute that to that yeast. It's
Yeah.
quite nice.
It's got a pleasant bitterness to it,
Mhm.
not an unpleasant.
Very
I mean,
approachable and drinkable
Yes.
by someone that likes some bitter, but not like bitter beer face bitter.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, I think there was a lot of those that came out that was just a big
Yeah.
old hot bomb. That
That's what it was
just-
meant to do.
Oh,
How hoppy can I make
Right,
this?
exactly.
And then have people still buy it.
right.
I'm glad those days are over, but I still miss some of
Yeah.
them. Every once in a while, I'm like, I just need something extra hoppy.
Yes.
Tricera hops or Tornado Extra IPA.
There you go.
Those two. I'm
Yeah.
like, those are my jam when I want a hoppy beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just recently, all day drinker, he went back home to Michigan, came
Okay.
back, brought some beer back.
All right.
He did bring me one. Honestly, I can't remember the name of it, but it reminded me of that old style IPA it wasn't the hop bomb, but it was the bitterness, the piney
Yeah.
flavor that, not
It's like a
Not a lot to
milder- It's a bumped up Wesco. Wesco's
Yeah,
are like
right.
mild versions of what we used to drink.
yeah.
Mostly, and
Yes.
now it's like something that was a double West Coast. I don't know what you'd call it, but
Right.
yeah, those are necessary every once in a
Oh
while.
yeah.
Reset the palate.
Oh yeah. It was definitely a good welcome. I missed those ones.
Well, I was drinking.
Yeah, what were you drinking?
I was drinking an Alley Cat breakfast stout.
Okay.
It's right around still brunch time. I thought, oh, that's perfect. The breakfast stout's quite nice. This version, this stout, I use chocolate and maple syrup in both the boil and then in the tank. I actually found some barrel-aged, like bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup this time, so I incorporated that in. It has a real nice feel to it. And then I've had a keg sitting in there for quite a while, So when I threw this one on, it's really starting to develop some of the flavors. As a home brewer, I don't have a ton of experience having a brewery. So as a home brewer, I'd give most of these bottles away, and they'd just disappear and they'd be gone,
Right.
never to be tasted again. And I'd go through the 6 or 8 or 10 that I kept in a week or two. So I never got the chance to let a beer develop.
Right. Yeah. Sit.
So now that it's been about 6 weeks, it's really starting to pull some nice flavors out. I did have a buddy bring a version of this from December of 2021 by, and I used a lot of bourbon barrel oak as a home brewer, and maybe just a touch of bourbon as a home brewer. And
Yeah.
it was really, really apparent in that version.
Yeah,
And it was nice. And to think, wow, something maybe I'll have here in 2 years. I was proud of that. I never had a beer that old of mine.
Oh, wow.
So that was the first.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was very nice.
So what about like buying a used whiskey barrel
Yeah.
and like letting it sit for all year?
The only problem that I have with that, I mean, that's a goal of mine, is to figure that out.
Sure.
And I just don't have a lot of space here.
No.
So the thing that I've kind of finding is in compromise is 15-gallon barrels, half barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some really nice ones, smoked bourbon whiskey barrels. They have a bourbon barrel that was emptied and then filled with maple syrup and then emptied and that was
wow.
ready for you to buy.
Yeah.
Which for the Alley Cat, for me, would be perfect. So my compromise for that may be building a couple stands and having some barrels that sit as decor in certain areas,
Sure.
but they're full and ready to go in 6 months,
Yeah.
a year. Something I'm thinking about. But at the moment, it's where do we put people rather than barrels?
Right.
Yeah.
People are a little bit more
I
important.
like people
Yeah.
as much as I like whiskey barrel beer. And that's a lot.
It depends on the people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For sure. Yeah.
But the ones here,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
a great
Are
crowd.
awesome.
I've been blessed with a really great crowd of people that keep coming back. So,
And
no
that's
complaints.
and every time I come in, it's almost like I see the same people here.
Yeah,
You
It's
got a really great crowd.
a core of like regulars that come
Yeah.
through. I couldn't be happier about that. I think that you have people that will return and keep drinking your stuff, and a lot of folks tell me they like seeing me here as the brewer and owner, and other people say I like that you have something different every week or every other week, or you're bringing something back. And one of the guys that comes in is a farmer and grows peppers. He's actually a concrete guy by trade,
Okay.
but his name's Farmer John. He grows peppers, and he's been bugging me, and in a nice way, not
Yeah.
bugging, but he's like, make this pepper beer. And so I actually put that in, and a whole bunch of the regulars have just really enjoyed it this week because they found it when it was County Line. They did a pepper beer because of Farmer John.
Okay.
So that's maybe it's nostalgia for them, but it's also quite tasty. So it's been kind of fun to have those people come in, and you listen and you incorporate some of those changes. And yeah, I think that's one reason people keep coming back. And it's a blessing to have that kind of a following already.
Hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. So I go on Untapped all the time, and I look at
Oh, yeah.
see what people have and what's on tap, and I get notifications from certain places saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, we got something new on tap," and it seems like Brown Beard is always coming up with something new.
I got something
every
different all
every
the time.
week I get 3 or 4 notifications from Brown Beard
Yeah.
saying he's got something new. So you're turning over quite a bit of product.
Yeah.
Do you find it hard to keep your own stuff on tap?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's one of the major challenges for me with the one barrel system that I've been running.
Oh, shit, there we go.
I will silence the alarm. When it comes down to keeping things on tap, that's lightning speed right there.
That was quick.
There's certain beers that just go, the Labrewski's off and on all the time.
Yeah.
That one, luckily I just did a double bash, but that one's super tough. And it's pretty much any pale ale or IPA I put on.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like 60-70% of the people, depending on the week, come in, they're looking for a hazy or a pale ale, or even in the winter, it's been, we sell through stuff so quick. I think my record was a barrel of an IPA in 4 days, 45 minutes. Meaning I put it on Thursday. I was open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And by 4:45 the next Thursday, I was sold out.
Wow.
And so it goes, so some of them go super fast. So it's 2 or 3 brews a week. That's also one reason you see more ales than lagers from me, because it's tough. Right now, I did a pepper Kolsch lager, and then I refilled that tank with a Czech Pilsner that's now lagering. That's 2-3 weeks each, so that ties that tank up where I can get an IPA done in 4 days, 7 days more appropriately. But with Kvike yeast, 4 days, depending on the fermentation temperature. And I can do I call them 4-day IPAs because I'll brew them on a Monday and throw them on Friday. And those usually are the ones that sell out super fast. But it's nice to have a fast turnaround on them. But I've had a heck of a time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's some guest taps that'll sit for 2 months, and I think, boy, wouldn't that be nice?
Would it be nice?
Wouldn't it be nice?
I don't know. I think it's like a good, bad thing. I mean, it's
No
good
doubt.
that people are loving it, drinking it, and coming back for more.
There's always nice to see different. I mean, we'll bring the same beers back over and over that sell well that people are asking about, but I've only made it through 23 of the 63 recipes that I have, and I think we've had 23 unique beers, or 24 maybe. A lot of the IPAs, I'll just come up with something on the fly. Like, what new hops did I just buy? Well, how could I change this recipe? I love the malt bill on this recipe. Let's throw new hops at it. I'm just kind of having fun, honestly. I'm not. Maybe I've only brewed 15 of the recipes. Most of my IPAs have been something that I've done brand new.
And so right now you're finding the IPAs are
Here's
the
a new one today
golden
as well.
ticket.
Yeah, that keeps people coming back, but the Labrewski's probably my golden ticket. So I have more people ask me about that every week than anything else, which I love. It's a golden stout. Who would have thought?
Right. I never would have thought.
You just tap into the coffee that 95% of people in this country like or drink coffee. Maybe that's not their favorite thing, but you tap into that a little bit, I guess. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, to be honest with you. I don't know why it's been so widely popular, but it has been it's been a gem for me.
You know, as an outsider, one that doesn't usually drink golden stouts or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I put myself in that category, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I never would have thunk it. I mean, I just don't. I'm so focused on IPAs that it's hard for me to branch out.
Yeah.
But I am branching out, and that one is one that isn't like, oh, fuck, no, I can't do that. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That is way too much coffee, or that's way too much this or this. It's a good balance of coffee, hop, flavor.
If you taste the base beer on that, which you're about a day late, unfortunately.
Right.
I don't want to say it tastes like bitter cardboard, but the goal is you get the golden ale, and it's you're going to add a lot of sweetness or different. Even coffee's a little bitter, but it comes out overly bitter and kind of not something that I would put on my menu.
Yeah.
But it's been quite the wonderful base beer to make the Blueberry Golden, the Labrewski, the new Garden City Sunrise, and a few new ones that I'll have coming out later on.
Okay.
It's a great base beer.
It's honestly a great beer. I've enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm one of those guys to give you the side eye when you don't have it.
Yeah. Well,
so I
good.
understand
I need that. I need someone to keep me in line.
Right. I don't know who's going to do that. It's not going to be me.
A lot of folks.
Yeah. So right now, like you said, you have other beers.
Yeah.
Almost ready. That are not IPAs.
Yeah. So I did 2 weeks ago. I did the Maple Gray, the 3-hop Pale Ale, and the Sneaky Snake Hazy IPA, all within 4 days of being open. One was a Saturday, and the next two came the next following Thursday, Friday. And I did that thinking, I think it's going to slow down the consumption of one, because if I just have one pale ale, it's gone in a week, 2 weeks tops.
Right.
But if I had all three, I thought maybe that'll last a month. I can get some other core beers out. And those ales, those pale ales, the IPAs, I can get out between 4 and 7 days. So it is a little bit of a gamble, I thought, but it seemed like it's worked. I did a brown ale yesterday. I've got the Czech Pilsner in. I've got the Labrewski. Today we're doing a hazy that'll be set aside, but yeah, it won't take me too long to. Next Monday I could do another hazy and have it on, or a pale ale by the end of the week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
there's a little bit of strategization over there. When you think about it that way.
All right. Okay, so let's just jump to what we've been doing. I mean,
Yeah,
we
okay.
said we were busy.
Yes.
So what were we busy doing?
Well, we got all our water ready. I got the sparge water ready. I got the water heated up. We have officially mashed in. Right now we're in the middle of a mash, coming up most of the way through a mash, well over halfway. Well, I take that back. We're at about 32 minutes left. So
Okay.
we'll mash. We're halfway through the mash, and then from there I will sparge, top up to we're at the right boil volume, and then we'll transfer over and we'll get our boil started.
So it's been probably a little less than 2 hours.
Since heating the water up, that's an hour out of my day right there. So it's nice. You heat your water up. You have a cup of coffee. Think about beer. What
Right.
beer you want to drink
Right.
that day. What it's gonna taste like. And then actually what we did is we got the as the sparge water's ready. We've got the next set of water heating up. We pulled all the grain out, measured everything out, got the grain bill ready to mash in. And basically, by the time that's in, we're ready to mash. So there's always something to do as far as process goes. As long as ideally, that's what that buzzer is.
Right.
If I sit down for a minute, look at the recipe on my phone, all of a sudden I'm on Instagram posting pictures of my
Right.
feet or my face or my beard. Who knows what I'm doing? So that's what keeps me busy. It keeps me in line anyway. Next, we'll roll into the boil next. As I say, a rolling boil. So roll right
Yeah.
in.
Ooh,
May
buddy.
end up, it's always one tradition that I have. If I'm brewing a beer, I like to drink a beer of that style. But I have one on. But what I find myself oftentimes doing is moseying down a block to
Oh, yeah.
homebrew stuff, the homebrew store,
close.
and bottle shop.
Yeah.
And I look through the cooler and I find one or two good examples, and I'll drink one and I'll save one for later, maybe after I'm done or maybe the next day. So that might be a pilgrimage we make today to see what's new, what's hot, what's available.
Sure.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll find a Zythos hop beer.
I
Really
doubt
unlikely,
it. I doubt it. That's
but
what
you never know.
That's what makes this one so coveted.
Yeah.
I mean, so rare. So we got to put a high
myself
price
have
tag on
never, I agree, 100%.
Right.
I've never myself tried Zythos hops. I had not heard of them until your first podcast episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be kind of cool. I really like the combo of these hops when you look at them on paper and what they bring.
Yeah.
Flavor profile, aromas. It's quite exciting.
Yeah. I honestly have never had a commercial Zythos hop beer.
Wow, that's an honor. Commercial.
Well,
We're technically professional commercial
Well,
brewery because
yeah.
there's a license on the wall. But
right.
I like to think of myself as a home brewer at heart.
Tom did not have that license on the wall, so
You had a license in my heart.
yeah. Yeah. I know I was like super busy, working really hard.
Yeah.
I almost broke a sweat
Oh,
dumping some grains
Yeah.
into the
you gotta. I mean, I kind of showed you my technique. You bring two kegs stacked on, and you just kind of let them sit
Right,
there, and you
right.
shake it in. It works great as a single brewer who's shaking a bag with one hand and running a drill mixer with the other.
yeah.
But we went through it like lightning speed today. Having two people,
Oh,
lightning speed. It was quite nice. I admit, though, I do drink a lot of hop water while I'm here by myself to keep myself, more physically able and ready and
sure.
mentally in it. That's
Right,
probably
you
one
have to.
reason the beer's
When you're
decent.
commercial.
Yeah. So once the knockout starts, though, you start the knockout, you start to knock out a beer. or two.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, okay, it's time to have a drink now.
Yeah. Well, I guess we better get back to work.
Yeah, mash is coming. We're about halfway through. I'll go double check all our levels, our temps, and we'll come back when we get a rolling boil. There's always quite
Yeah.
a bit of time there.
And how long are we going to let this one boil?
This is a 60-minute boil.
60-minute boil.
60-minute boil, very small amount of a 60-minute hop, really mostly for kettle performance, adding a solid, number to the IBU for a backbone. But really, I like to get my IBUs out of the very late hop additions, 5 or 10-minute. Whirlpool or flame out additions is where I like to kind of pile on my IBUs as well, giving my hazies more of a juicy tropical note rather than that bigger bitterness.
So that kind of brings up one debate that we've had in the past
Yeah.
is that some beers have 0 IBUs. Some I will specify some hazies
Okay.
have 0 IBUs, and that's because they put that hop into the whirlpool or dry hop.
You're still going to get a little bit of utilization. But if you program that into BrewSmith or BrewFather, like what I'm using, it shows
Right.
0.
Exactly.
But you do still
You taste
get
it.
some hop utilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've
But it's an underestimation, in my opinion. And I learned this from a book, but the brewer with Breakside Brewing, he's known famously for his IPAs, and he does almost exclusive back-end bittering. He'll throw in 1.5 pounds per barrel, roughly, but he does all of his bittering in the late additions in the whirlpool. So that's how you get such big juice notes out of those beers. They're smooth, they're punchy, they're juicy. He's kind of, well, there's several brewers, but he's really made it a thing.
So
Famous.
is he using bittering hop in that back end?
Yeah,
or
and
is
he'll
it-
throw. I read it in this book. He was saying for a 3-barrel batch, he did 1.5 ounces of Columbus for a 60-minute, literally just to help his kettle performance, to keep the boil over down, and that was it. It added a couple IBUs for a 3-barrel batch.
Wow.
4 or 5. I don't know the calculation right away, but he's doing a 15, a 5, maybe a 10, a 5, a flame out, and then he'll whirlpool with more. So he's pulling IBUs and calculating what he's getting right off of that
So
for his hazies.
as a professional,
Whoa.
yeah, I know.
All right. Still
As a
got ring
professional,
to it.
you are a professional now. Because of the license on the wall, you
Yes.
are a professional.
Okay, I'll buy that.
But you are saying that even if it is put in the back end and the app or whatever you're using says it's 0 IBUs,
Yeah.
you're still saying there's IBUs.
You're going to pull some IBUs. And it comes down to what temperature you're throwing your hops in. If you throw a bunch of hops in a flame out, a pound, you're going to pull some out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be less if you're doing like 175, 176 degree, 30-minute whirlpool. Significantly less because you're much less in temperature. The alpha acids won't dissolve. They'll just, they won't work their way in as easily as if it's in a boil. But you will, still pull some IBUs out.
So why don't we calculate these IBUs? Why do we keep saying they're 0?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, do you know?
Some of these
Have a
softwares,
thoughts?
they're not programmed in, but it's kind of hard to know exactly where. It's from my understanding.
Mhm.
But you can. There are ways to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific amount, but I know that I'm going to add a few. But to be honest with you, a lot of the recipes that I throw up, if it says 46, it was 46 based off of the recipe in
Right.
BrewSmith.
Right.
I've done some that'll say 60 and they taste like they're 90, because I'll do 2 pounds for a barrel, 2 pounds of hops for my flame out and whirlpool edition total, and I know for a fact I'm at 85, 90, just based on taste. So
Well, it's kind of like the Maple Gray. It is
yeah.
calculated 100, but really,
120 on the
drinking
the,
a lot
the
less.
recipe. It drinks like it's under 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, all right. Well, I think we've talked enough. I think it's about time to get back to work. We will check back in just a little bit once we get to another.
Progress update.
Yeah.
Status update.
Yeah.
When we get through another beer, I guess.
Maybe then. All right. There goes the alarm. So off we go. All right, we're back, and we've been really fucking busy this whole time.
Actually, that's true. For the first time in hours.
Yes. I mean, it's been a while. It's now 2:30 ish.
A little bit more of a labor-intensive
So
process.
yeah,
when you get
this
through the
part
mash.
took a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, we've had several guests come in
it's
and say
been
hi.
fun. It's been quite fun.
Yes,
We
we
ran
had.
into Patrick with Watkins.
Yep.
We ran into the Watkins rep, who actually delivered some really delicious barrel-aged stouts.
Right,
The Scout rep, Caleb, just left. And
Yep.
He unfortunately declined to be on the podcast.
right.
Citing work as work as an excuse.
Yeah,
And
work.
the most exciting guest who actually
Right.
showed up during the match, Justin Cooper.
Yes, the one that
My,
actually stayed.
The one that stayed.
That
the one
agreed
that's had
to
a
be
little
on the
bit of beer,
podcast.
not a lot of beer, but just enough.
Right.
Just enough.
Right.
Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks.
Appreciate you sticking around.
Thanks
and
for forcing me to be on this. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
You bet.
Twisting an
That's what
arm
we do.
over here.
Yeah. It sounds like we
Excuse
are
me, would you like
twisting
to be
an arm.
on it? No. Are you sure? No, I'm not. I'll do it.
Yeah.
No,
Something
beer?
like that.
Okay, yeah, I'll stay.
Done.
Yep.
Okay, so Justin, tell us what you do.
I'm an illustrator that just happened to become Bryce's designer
Art
by
department.
force.
You kind of forced me by asking me, and I said yes.
Yes, but now
I saw your work and thought, this is a guy I might not be able to afford, but I'm going to give him a go anyway. And boy, was I excited.
I'm
Yes.
It's
so
been,
cheap.
yeah, fantastic artwork, though. You've seen the Devil's Breath.
Right.
You've seen the poster for the Devil's Breath. You've seen the Brown Beard skull logo. I mean,
Right.
talking like a guy that knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So what? I mean, obviously, this is not your first gig.
No.
Could you, we got a lot of local listeners with the MT Camp.
Yes, we do.
Can you do a little synopsis of the work you've done locally?
Right. What you
Jesus.
Where'd you start here in the valley with beer? And
before Brown Beard, before
Yeah.
he took up all your time,
yeah.
and before him, what'd you do? What else have you? I mean, because really, you're not just
You're not
a
just
beer
a
guy.
guy. You're kind of one of the OGs here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not really.
A little bit of one.
I'm trying to be. But
Yeah. As far
So
as I'm concerned.
before Brown Beard, I was friends with Jeff at Crooked Fence, who had Crooked Fence. Everyone knows has some of the best art
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
ever been
Oh,
in the
yeah.
brewery game.
Yep.
100%.
So I was like, hey, you might need new art for
Yeah.
your new beers. So I
And this was after Kelly. came
yeah,
out,
Kelly
sold,
was
and
out.
The second owner came in, and
yes.
you. Okay.
Yes.
Just
so
make sure I understand.
So I wanted to be the new Kelly,
Heck yeah.
which is a hard shoe to fit, but
Yeah.
I tried.
It's like putting your
and-
feet in a pond and saying, I'm ready to walk.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I've been doing it for a long time.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just Kelly's fantastic.
You've got a
It's hard to
different
beat.
style. And when I saw the Hazy Days IPA that they did, the session had the VW bus and the Lazy Days, maybe the river that rolls through
There's
it.
the river.
Yeah.
I don't remember the
That
name.
artwork kind of blew me away, and I thought that guy wants to work with me. I mean, that was really neat, honestly.
I
was sold on
I
most
want
of
to do art for breweries. Like, it's fun.
Yeah,
Because, like, you're like, this is my idea, but just do it.
yeah.
Just go crazy.
Because I'm gonna brew the beer. I don't have the creative side on the
Yeah.
artwork. You've seen I'm wearing a shirt that has me being abducted by a UFO. It's great. It's no Devil's Breath poster. It's not real artwork. I did this on my phone. You hand draw everything.
I do, yeah.
It's quite impressive. Yeah, I've enjoyed it.
So, yeah, I did a couple Crooked Fence things, and then I actually did a label for a brewery in Seattle called Hellbent. Because my buddy was the driver,
Uh-huh.
so he gave me
Good hookup.
the numbers, and I did their 15th or 10th annual beer release,
Wow.
which turned out really
Nice.
nice.
Yeah.
It never went anywhere, but I mean, they printed it, but
Yeah.
I never heard back from them. So.
10th
The
annual.
most recent thing before you was the Idaho Brewers Association.
The
glass.
space.
Yeah.
I actually went and found that glass at a place that still had it. I had to search that glass out.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was you until
That was me.
shortly after.
Yeah.
It's like a planet in a hop.
The
and it's like
Sawtooth
a
Mountains, Prime Bridge in the back,
Space background.
little octopus.
It hits all of the little feelers in my brain.
I'm sorry, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Oh,
I'll
You
Google
did a
it.
glass.
yeah. Idaho Brewers Association. I think that's the
Idaho
name.
Brewers United.
United.
Okay.
They do a Pints Up Idaho every year, and a different artist will do
Oh.
a pint.
Okay.
And because of the work I did for Crooked Fence,
Boom. First one that comes up. Yours.
Well,
As
shit,
soon
I've
as you
never
Google it.
the-
never even seen it.
I reached out, or no, Crooked Fence guy gave my number to the lady that runs it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Reach
I had to
out
go
to me.
find. I had to go find this glass.
Okay.
Needed it so bad, and actually, honestly, I think I ordered it from their website. I was like, I've got to have that
Yeah, it's
because
good.
it, with all the space, it hit my tingly
Yeah.
part of my brain just perfectly.
Yeah, supposedly I have
quite
like
nice.
a box of glasses somewhere that
Okay.
belong to me, but I've yet to get them.
We would like to have Justin Cooper get his box of glasses.
Yes, I would like
Right.
those glasses.
Right. Well, I will also say, since you bring up Idaho Brewers United, they are having a golf tournament April 26th. It was supposed to be this year,
This year, yeah.
but some things happened, didn't work out, so now they rescheduled to April 26th.
Brewers, yeah.
If you sign up and go, look out for me. I'll
Hey,
be there.
you'll be there.
I'll be there with
Nice.
Everyday Drinker.
Right on.
He'll be with me.
Justin
we're both
wanted
golfers,
to do something
so
with
I
that,
did, yeah.
and he asked me, and I was like, I can't remember why I couldn't do it, or I didn't do it. I've just been, it's
Working?
my thing's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's still available, we should look into it. I'm a terrible. If you're okay with being with a terrible golfer,
I'm terrible.
I'll tell you what, I'll excel at though, drinking and driving a golf
Yes.
cart. So
Drinking and driving.
Yeah.
always a good
I'll
time.
go.
Tell you what.
preface that with a golf cart.
Right, golf cart. Yes. Okay, so you've been all around the valley, and
Somewhat. I'd like to
But-
be more around the valley, but
With beer, right?
yes.
Just with you've been all over the place, but with
Yeah.
beer, you're looking to extend your reach for
Yes.
sure.
okay. So anybody out there looking for an artist?
Yeah, you can get him
Hit him up.
at Cask Gear
Oh,
on Instagram.
thanks.
Yes.
I know all your
Good
deets.
plug.
I'm
Good
not.
plug.
I'm not a prostitute. I can't.
I'll plug you. I'll plug you all day
Yeah.
long.
Oh,
If anyone-
Jesus.
Anyone
Me?
out there that doesn't remember that, doesn't want to look for it, call the brewery. Come into the brewery.
Yeah.
I'll put you personally in contact with you. I'll call him and I'll say, hey, you need to get down here now. And then he'll just walk down. He's
Yeah.
not that far down
Yeah.
the road.
Feel free to
That
be a
may
whore
not
here
happen.
on the podcast. It's okay. It's okay. We try to plug everything we can
Check out my
at all times.
OnlyFans at Cat Gear. No,
No, that's not a thing.
no, that's not a thing. That
It's just a rotation of all of your drawings.
well, I do a lot of naked lady drawings, so I technically could have an
Could be
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
You honestly, why not? You give it a shot. If it doesn't blow up, it doesn't blow up. If it does, then boom, there you go.
Yeah.
Then I'm
OnlyFans
rich.
for people who have beards, so you can like zoom in on your
Bearded
beard.
fans.
Rub it
I mean,
against the mic.
all
Those
gotta
ASMR
love that.
weirdos.
right.
And it's
So
been quite a brew day, hasn't it?
it has been a brew day. I mean,
Quite a brew. It's been fun.
it has been a really good time. Justin's been with us for a little while now.
Throughout, basically through halfway through the mash, all the way until
Right.
So we've mashed out, cleaned
Oh,
the
yeah.
kettles. I cleaned the tank, sanitized the tank, cleaned the chiller, and at this point we're just waiting for the kettle to cool down enough to start our whirlpool, 30-minute whirlpool. I like to kill the heat down to about 195 to start, and then I'll let it slowly work its way down. That way, you're all aroma and some of the juice notes and the flavor on the palate, but you don't get all the extra bitterness with a little bit out of the 195, maybe a little bit out of the 175, 176. But
Mhm.
we're just kind of through the boil. Everything's cleaned for the most part, and
Yeah.
this is the point where it's time to get back to podcasting,
Yeah.
having a beer.
Finally, having a beer. I mean, is this like my second one or something?
Yeah, something.
Second beer.
I have not seen him drink more than one beer total.
Okay, true.
An
These
hour.
are little glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an hour.
Super little glasses,
Yeah.
just one beer. So anyway, we're making progress here.
I mean, progress has been made.
Oh,
we're,
yes.
we're like
We're
right now. We're
home
on
stretch.
a gravy train with biscuit wheels. We're just
Right.
waiting to grab a fork,
So
start eating.
yeah. Okay. Wow. That's something else.
That was a good one. I've never.
That was a good
Who
one.
would have thought?
And
Out of
nobody
me.
would have thought that.
I
I'm
never
sorry.
come up with good ones.
That was a good one. Home stretch. Now's the time to drink, if any.
Yeah, this is the time where you've earned it.
Yeah.
All we have left is the whirlpool, 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
the crash, cold crash, the 20 minutes tops.
Yeah.
When the beer is down to 175-ish, cold crash takes 10, 12 minutes. It's quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is the best time to crack a beer.
Yep.
I cracked an Anchorage Personal Space triple IPA. So
Triple?
because it's a triple, I went
Shut
ahead
your
and
mouth.
shared it with everybody. It's a double dry hopped with Phantasm powder, Nelson, which I thought was
Love the Nelson.
and then Sabro. But instead, I use Sabro and McKinsey. I intertwine those two
Okay.
here at the brewery. or my favorite combination is the Mackenzie Sabro. So I thought, what a personal space for me to be in while I'm doing a podcast and
Right.
drinking a beer.
I am invading everybody's personal space right
As
now.
you should.
Yeah.
Would be just fine.
So I'm going to be that guy. I heard you guys throwing around a couple names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you decide on one or?
Oh, names.
Well, what we decided to do, a list.
Yes. We got a list of different names for this beer.
I came up with 2.
I came up with 2.
And you know what? We're going to give it up to the people.
Yes.
Of the listeners of the podcast, the followers on our social media to vote. So the 2 of us will come up with a time. And we'll post it around the same time, and we'll take the tally of votes on both of our social medias, and we'll put the 4. We'll make a little vote thing for 24 hours. That's all your story can do. We'll let you vote, and we're gonna leave it up to the people. So we've got 2 and 2 of our favorite names each. We're gonna let the people decide.
You want to say them now or?
Yeah, let's give it out.
Do
It's
it.
about the time that this comes out. It'll be about the time that we're voting. So we've got Haze Me Bro, which I think is great.
Yep.
The MT Brewcast. We've also got MT Haze, kind of like empty cans, and it's a hazy beer. And then we've got Bearded Haze because, well, oddly enough, the 3 of us sitting at this table
Right.
here all have beards. So, and it's Brown Beard and it's a hazy IPA, so it all makes sense. So those are the 4 we're going to throw up, allow people to vote on, kind of tally them. Maybe we'll do a best of your followers, best of my followers.
Okay.
And we'll post them. We can have some fun with this. Let's let the people get involved.
Yeah.
Let's let the people
Do a little
decide.
November March Madness.
November Beard Fest
November Madness.
of voting.
Wow.
Yeah, a little bit of the madness. So that'll go up. If it's not up as you hear this, it'll be up shortly.
Yes. Absolutely. And you, the people, will decide.
And we've decided on a date for the Empty Cans party.
Absolutely.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Please.
December 15th. We're going to have the Empty Cans party. We have not every detail worked out, but I'm sure there will be live music. I'm guessing we'll have a food truck, or we'll do both at the same time because we're kind of overachievers here at the podcast. And then having the food truck and the music, it'll be a fun party. We're going to throw up whatever the name is you decide to do for the beer. That'll be up all day, and then for the rest of the week.
So it's like a beer release.
It's a beer release
And
holiday,
unveiling.
a beer release Empty Cans podcast holiday party.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the idea came from Mark, not me. But, I mean, we kind of chatted about doing a collab on the original podcast. So I was kind of stoked. I was, sure, let's brew together. Like, it sounds fun.
Yeah.
Another reason to all get together and talk about beer. And
Yeah, and this
worked
isn't
out
your
well. This isn't my normal
first
wheelhouse.
collab either, so.
No, this is our 3rd podcast together, actually, which I think
Yeah.
is kind of fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Good times. Alarms are going off. So that means. What's that mean, Bryce?
Well, we're ready to start the whirlpool.
We're gonna whirlpool it up with a bunch of great hops.
Oh my god.
We already talked about them. Hey, let's talk about the hops.
Oh my god.
We actually got to smell the hops.
Well, before we start the whirlpool, let's do a real. Let me start over here.
Yeah.
I've got all 3 of the hops in front of us.
Yes.
Unlabeled in pint glasses. I can tell which one are which by looking at them, but what we'll do is a quick aroma test on
Which
the
is
Mackenzie.
great for radio.
This is the Mackenzie. So you just say what it is, what you smell, and then what your flavor profile is. It's almost perfect.
I mean, it smells delicious.
Yeah. With the Mackenzie, I get a big burst of tropical notes.
Very tropical.
Yeah, it's a great bittering hop, to be honest with you. So there's almost just a hint of that like old citrus, but the piney citrus that you get from like Columbus or
Simcoe.
Cascade. Yeah, yes.
Simcoe.
So but the flavors that come out of that are very much like bright tropical flavors in my palate. I've used it a lot. I've had good luck with it.
Should save that one for last.
Will do.
Yeah.
I'm here
Next
smelling the hops.
Next up is Nelson.
Yeah.
My favorite.
With the Nelson, the Nelson's sweet. It's a sweet, almost sugary, sweet flavor on the nose, like the aroma. I mean, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it is very nice.
Punchy, bright, vibrant.
Delicious.
Almost as much
Yeah.
as any other hop I've smelled. Second I opened that bag, I knew it was something special.
Oh yeah, it's good. Both of these are really good. So now we get to the Zithos, which is something super special.
I opened this bag in front of these two, and I smelled it, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was creamy mayonnaise and Cool Ranch Dorito spice. And then I got the look of death from both. Like,
Yeah,
you are either drunk or
right.
nuts.
Insane.
So,
Probably
I
drunk.
mean, I still get that smell. We'll pass it around. I still get that. And
It's creamy.
It's so...
Somehow it's creamy.
Maybe mayonnaise isn't the right term, but when you open a Miracle Whip and you smell it, it's just creamy, egg white, vibrant
Like if they
smell
had
of one certain
if they had
thing.
a Cool Whip,
For a
Jesus
hop.
Christ, Miracle Whip
Yeah, that's what I mean.
that
yeah.
had
Miracle Whip.
Cool Ranch Dorito seasoning in it. This is
Take
what
the
it-
Cool Ranch jar, leave the little topper on, wet the rim, dip it in Cool Ranch Dorito spice to give it a thing, and then pull the protective paper off. That's the smell,
It's so
and
weird.
it's odd, and it's known for big tropical notes, pineapple specifically. Tom, pineapple is what he would always say. I've read a lot about it. It's big pineapple notes, tropical notes.
So
Don't get that on the nose.
when I open a jar of mayonnaise or Cool Whip, or Cool Whip.
Miracle
Now you
Whip.
got me talking about the Cool Whip.
That was my fault, actually.
Or Miracle Whip, because
Miracle Whip.
fucking shit.
Miracle Whip.
Because Miracle Whip and mayonnaise are like two different things.
Totally.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Same texture, totally different thing.
You guys are, I don't know, you're kind of fucked in the head because when I open a jar of that and I smell it, I want to throw up.
I guess I don't smell.
Mayo makes me throw up.
I don't smell mayo when I open the jar.
Yeah.
It's the
Oh.
it's the texture of the mayonnaise itself. That's
I can-
what I smell, and that's the
You
hardest
smell
thing
texture.
to
Smell
say.
cream.
I smell a cream texture on my nose,
egg-based
my palate,
cream.
and that translates on my palate as miracle.
This is, this is going to be probably by far the best concoction
yeah.
that any brewer in the state of Idaho has made.
Well, we're all the brewers here, so that's a nice compliment. I have never.
We're not the brewers. Calm down.
No.
I usually do a 3 to a 4 hop hazy, and every time you open a bag, you smell somewhat similar. Big tropical
Yeah.
notes,
Oh, yeah.
pineapple,
Absolutely.
guava, like mango. You get these
Weed.
nice notes. Yeah, dankness. There's nothing. The McKinsey's the only one that's even close.
Yeah.
The other two are in a league of their own, and Nelson's probably a little bit higher than what I would normally rate a McKinsey or a Sea Hop, and then Zithos
Sea
is
Hop?
just on a rocket ship out of
It's-
the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know
is-
what to call it.
It is something special. So anybody that wants to try this, I mean, this is probably going to be a one night only.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
and we may have we'll probably sell through. I mean, from my experience, a half barrel will go in a night if we have an event, and then we may have it for the rest of the weekend. So
This
if we
is-
did it on a Friday, you might get some Saturday, Sunday, and then possibly the following Thursday.
This is probably going to be the biggest event at this establishment ever of all time.
If you were to were
Whoa,
to take
calm
the
down.
opening
Oh, yeah.
weekend, if you were to cut out the opening weekend and then the Talbot Brothers concert,
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
yeah.
no, I mean,
Scratch those guys.
it's close. Yeah,
Other
because
than that,
that's
biggest
it.
weekend
There's-
ever.
for sure.
biggest.
To date, this will be the best beer we've probably rolled
Unless
out.
it tastes like Cool Ranch Doritos.
Right, and then
Then you
it's,
market it to Call of Duty fans. And you're like, hey,
Yeah.
that's Cool
Hey,
Ranch
Call of
Doritos.
Duty.
check this out. I mean,
Yeah.
I might try it once. It's the pickle beers. It's the seltzer they made with hot dog water. I've tried
Oh,
them all.
no.
Ew, what?
That was a
Not
brewery
cool.
out of Texas. They did
Hot dog
They
water?
boiled a boatload of hot dogs, and then they took all the water and made a seltzer out of it.
That's
Hot dog
disgusting.
Water. Yeah.
that is gross.
Oh
No,
my God.
it's
That's
bad.
so
but
gross.
It's Martin House. It's great for what it
Okay,
is.
it's Martin House. We love you, but yuck.
Yeah. Hey, it was awesome, and the pickle beer went with the best barbecue in the world. It was perfect with it. It was kind of awful at the same time, but it was a really nice compliment. Super pickly. It's like pickle juice with alcohol in it.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
it's good for
anyway.
heartburn.
Okay, all right. So let's get these in the whirlpool,
Let's do
and
it.
we'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, here we are. We're done. Fuck, that was a lot.
It was a lot.
You know,
It was actually, to be honest with you, we're cleaned up about. I think I said done by 4, clean by
Right.
4:30. As I speak, it's 4:07. So
Okay.
and we've been done for 2-3 minutes. So
yeah,
about 25 minutes early.
we've been cleaning up a little bit.
That's about as good as it gets to me.
Yeah, it was pretty
Mash
good.
was great. Boil was right on. That's a 30-minute hop stand. That's just sitting around waiting. Thank you, Justin, for helping us fill
Right.
that time.
We lost Justin.
Apparently, he has a real job and
yeah.
has to go back to work.
Yeah, I
Understood.
can't blame him. But really, that's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
You know.
It's much better with 2 people. So again, I
Sure.
thank you for being here and doing
Yeah.
this collab, and it's been a lot of fun. But we're officially wrapped up. Everything's clean, and I'll do a real good scrub tomorrow. But we're there, man.
What are the final readings? What did we come out at?
I was shooting for 1.064,
Okay.
and we hit 1.062.
Damn, there go the
and-
alarms.
Yeah. Give me
All right, one more time. One more time on the alarms, and then we'll be done.
I'm waiting on my grain guy. Great guy.
Right.
I think I mentioned him earlier. Great guy. He's going to drop off several more bins in these little white bins I throw all my brewery waste in. But
Right,
there's very little left.
He used these spent grains on his cows that he has.
dairy cows.
So that's
Ethel.
awesome.
Ethel, the big dairy cow.
Okay.
And a bull that apparently would get all
Oh.
excited every time he saw our stuff coming.
Wow.
He sees the yellow bin,
Yeah.
just like like the flag. Red
Nice.
flag. Yeah, he gets all excited.
Wow, nice.
I'm looking for a video for that, so I'll get
Yeah,
one soon. But
that'd be good.
yeah. So,
Okay, so final
to
readings.
get back to it, I was looking for 1.064 gravity. We hit 1.062, so we're pretty
Okay,
much right on the money.
really close.
I'm estimating our final gravity. Our final gravity after fermentation will be 1.012
Mm-hmm.
to 1.013. It's right in that money. That's pretty much where all my IPAs will end. And that would give us an estimated alcohol of 5.5 to 5.56, so almost 5.6%.
Okay.
Sorry, I apologize. 6.5 to 6.6%. So
Okay.
we're right in the middle of the 6% sweet spot. Is exactly what we were looking
Yeah,
for.
exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah. There's one last thing that we'll do right before you leave.
Uh-huh.
We'll dump the last 3 bags of the dry hops in.
Oh, okay.
And then that's it. We'll seal the tank
Then
back
done.
up, and we're out. Like,
Okay.
tank temperature after boil, I ran a 30-minute whirlpool. We got our nice hop threw our hops in, got a good utilization out of those hops. We're looking at about, that was a 30-minute, but just pitching the yeast, throwing those last little bit of the hops in. We're looking at about 2 days to ferment. Tank temperature from the chiller, I was hoping for about 87. We were a little low on that 84, but that Kvike yeast, it'll get it up there in a day. I mean, by the end of the day, by midnight tonight, I won't be here, but I guarantee you fermentation will have started, and the temperature will have started rising. It goes quick. Maple Gray, we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
99.3 degrees. So
Right.
it goes. That was overnight, so it goes fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna ferment hot, and
That's
if
good.
we wanted it to be ready by this Saturday, it'd be on. But we're gonna condition it nice
Right.
and clean. Just let it rest. And
For all the good people, we're making the best beer possible.
yes, we're not gonna rush anything. We're just
Right.
gonna let her ride.
Yep. So we did lose Justin,
Correct.
but we did have another visitor that
We-
everybody
we-
missed out on.
We gained a short visitor.
Right.
Who declined to
Right.
do a segment on the podcast.
We did ask him to do a short segment.
Someone
but
I had mentioned earlier.
yes.
The farmer John came by, responsible for all the pepper beer and the peppers in this
Yes.
place. He came by asking for a holiday growler because that beer is selling like it's about selling as fast as anything else I've ever made.
So it is the beer right now.
Yeah.
It's selling out faster than anything.
I've made. It's about as fast as anything else I've made. I've not had there's been only a couple beers, minus our first weekend, because that's kind of a fluke. Everybody in town wanted to come by.
Right.
That sold out in 3 days. Never sold a half barrel in 3 days. It's been very rare. Tendencies IPA was 1 day for a half barrel because we had a big event, and the Oktoberfest was 3 days, and this pepper beer was 3 days.
Crazy.
And the Nectron, we did one in 3 days, and that was it. I've not had anything else. That's for you got a hazy pale and a pepper Kolsch. Doesn't make any sense.
Right. Nobody would have guessed it.
So it was fun to have him kind of show up talking about that, and
that's pretty
for
awesome.
you to kind of see that. Yeah, it's been that popular, which is
Yeah.
odd.
Well, I think there will be one more beer that will be more popular than the pepper beer.
There's a single beer that will rule all.
That's right. That's got
Zitho
to be
Hop-Anonymous.
the
Zitho Hop-Anonymous. I just came up with that name.
right. Fucking great name.
That is
Great name.
That's actually pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Zithos Hop-Anonymous.
Right.
Although,
Hey, well, I guess that could be another one to the list.
yeah, we'll add that to the list. So what we come up with in our off time here while we were brewing, working hard, thinking
Yep.
hard, we came up with an idea. We will post five names now on our Instagram,
Yep.
social media channels, and we'll have a poll. And for 24 hours, that's all you get based on Instagram. It will allow you to vote. We're going to leave this up to the people. We have 5 now. We now have 5 names. A very late addition, but we have a 5th name now. So we'll go through those real fast here. They will be available on our social media channels any day now, and you'll be able to vote to help us name this beer. Because you're as much a part of this as we are.
That's right. So let's say December 1st.
Okay.
December 1, we will post all 5 names, and everybody can vote.
Yep. I like it.
That way people can listen to the podcast, know what's going on before it actually happens.
And you, as
And
the
they're
listener
ready.
of this podcast, will get a sneak preview right here and
Right.
now. There's no commercial break before this. We're ready to roll.
This is it.
The names would be, apparently, Zithos Hop-Anonymous.
Yep.
We've got Haze Me Bro, the MT Brewcast, the MT Haze, and we've got Bearded Haze.
Yep.
All 3 of the gentlemen, and this is Brown Beards, all had a beard brewing this today.
Exactly.
So those are the 5 choices. We'll throw those up on December 1st. You'll have
Yep.
a chance to kind of vote for it.
Yep.
And the winner, we will name that beer at the brewery. It'll be available December 15th at the end of the year empty cans holiday party, the Big Bash.
Yeah.
You know?
We're going to have all kinds of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some T-shirts to give away.
Hey, I'll give away a couple gift cards,
Yeah.
maybe a hoodie
We're going to have
if you're the right size.
we're going to have some awesome you got the beer board there.
Oh, yeah. Buy your buddy a beer
Yeah.
board.
So
Of
I'm going to
course.
buy a bunch of beers for buddies that can
sure.
actually answer questions
I love it.
from previous podcasts.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So anybody
Yeah.
that knows or hears a podcast, they can come in and say, "Oh, hey, shit, yeah, I know what Tom's favorite hop is."
Yeah.
That's kind of a
I
gimme.
know the answer to that.
think
We used
everybody-
it in this
Yes.
brewcast today.
Right. Exactly. So it's going to be a good time. So I invite everybody out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
In the meantime, this is it for us.
Keep brewcasting. Keep enjoying local beer.
I'll be here December 15th. We'll
I'm definitely not going to miss that.
right. You can't, even if you wanted to.
Nope.
We'll have some podcast equipment here, and we'll talk to some people and see what they think and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it'd
have
be
some
great
fun
to
with
get
it.
some live reviews of
Yeah.
the beer and
Right.
just the party, and
Yeah.
that's going to be a killer time.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, or want us to do something or drink something or whatever, I
Drop
don't
us a
know.
line.
Yeah,
Empty Cans Podcast. You
Uh,
can drop it down to Brown Beard Brewing Co.
Right.
I will forward it to Mark.
Yeah,
I'll make sure he
right.
sees it. I will drag him in here and make sure he does, the drink challenge, or
Yeah, right.
we'll talk about whatever you're interested in.
Right. Hit us up on email at emptycans2022@gmail.com
I like it.
or Instagram, Facebook
Yeah,
at mt_cans.
I love it.
All right.
And do not forget, you are responsible. You need to get
Right.
out and vote. Voting is a right.
Everybody
December
vote.
1st, vote for your favorite name. You will have a choice.
Right.
This is a vote that will matter in your life. Sometimes you vote for the mayor and it's a landslide, or you vote for president, it's a landslide. This is the vote that will come down to a few or a couple, or
Right.
just maybe even one.
We may have to do a recount.
I demand we do a recount.
We haven't even started, but we already got a recount.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah,
we
it will
would
be
appreciate
fantastic.
anyone's vote.
Yep. Please vote. And we'll see you December 15th.
Cheers.
So thanks for listening, guys.